to walk around, so I'm going to do this. I'm so inspired to be here. I love Rotarians. I had to be at 6:59 in the morning in Tacoma to be a Rotarian at the time. And when I first started coming here as a Rotarian in the 90s, I went to meet with guys at 9 o'clock at night and drink tequila. And what I said to my partner then was, look at the power of Rotary. Look what could happen if a really connected club, and now I hear 17 years later, you've got 100 connections. This is just such great, great news. So I'm so happy to be here and to be in this library where the Atención lived. When I lived in Tacoma, Washington, and was planning to move to San Miguel, I would get home on a rainy day, always a rainy day theme. And what would I see? There in my mailbox would be some mimeographed yellow sheets, the Atención. And all the old gals that I knew from when I was visiting were in these buildings putting together these sheets so that I could go, oh, look what the library is doing. Oh, look what my Uncle Don Hotel Villa Jacaranda is doing. Look what's happening. And I think that news of San Miguel, and you'll see from my little example, goes out around the world, and it tends to bring joy to a lot of people because of the creativity and the love that comes out of here. So I thought I'd start with a song. Gracias a la vida que me he dado tanto, me he dado dos luceros que cuando los abro, perfecto distingo el negro de blanco, del alto cielo, tu fondo estrellado. Why am I doing that? Because that song says, thank you. Thank you. That song says, I give thanks to life. And I look at the stars, and I look at the people I love, and I give thanks to life. Well, that's kind of what started this new Insiders News. I'm going to cry because I really hate this project. Every month, I get together with some people who are here. There's Natalie. She's a great writer. There's Bill Wilson. These two kept the Atención going. When the Atención fell down, they both called me and said, we love to write. We love San Miguel. I said, well, I have that little publication called the Tourism Guide, Walking and Shopping Guide, going for the last number of years. I don't know if we can pull a team together to do an actual newspaper, but let's give it a try. And that was last September. Oh, how does this work? So, thank you. And I love this guy. He's done videos for me before. Hey, I also wanted to say hi to you streamers out there. And I also want to recognize what a great and powerful club you are. There's a lot of you here this morning, and there's a lot of you streaming, and there are just a lot of friends here. So it's beautiful to see what this club is and continues to become. So we started last September. Natalie wrote about the patrias, and that got us started as a paper. I said, we have to be in black and white. I can't afford color, kids. Well, you'll find out that we jumped to color and that we're publishing about the same amount of newspapers as was the Atención, but that we might have a different philosophy about what we're doing in this time and place because we don't have 45 years of history pushing us along. We just have a fresh start. And sometimes that's really what we need is a fresh start. So what I'm going to talk about today is, as our reporters say when they go out and they seriously look at you and do an interview with you, they talk about who, what, where, why, when, and I put the word how on, and my reporter back there said, we don't do that part, we don't do how. And I said, well, I'm going to tell the Rotary Club how, because it's a mystery to us, but it does come along. But going the wrong way, as usual. I want to tell you about our mission. I'm looking at the Rotary Club and I say, is that the best mission in the world? Your mission to provide assistance to others in order to improve the quality of life, to advance community understanding, goodwill, and peace. Oh my God, I said, that is our mission. Only our mission is we have to provide the information to others in order to do this. If I owe money for copying your mission, I'll be out there with, as a publisher, I don't get paid, so don't ask me for much. But I love your mission. And I really said to myself, yes, that's what we're doing. Now, peace is very hard, but peace among ourselves is a very important product of what comes out of the stories in which we understand one another better, including David Bosman back there telling us of some scary things now and then, but we need to know the stories, and that brings peace to us. Whoop, going the wrong way again. So what I want to tell you is, how do we get this done? We're just a little team. That's me. I've been here, as you know, about 25 years now. I've been coming since I was a child in 1973. I'm going to say I was a child anyway. I was supposed to be going to the Instituto Allende. Instead, I went to Mamma Mia's and the La Cucaracha. And you know, the Instituto Allende was so far away from Aldama Street then, I never even managed to find it. That's what I had to tell my mom and dad. It's way over out there somewhere. I don't know where it is. Well, anyway, I did end up going into art and owning an advertising agency and working with creative people, both writers and production people. And that's probably why it was in my forte to take a look around and said, hey, gang, let's try this. So who's with me there? Amy Rothland. She's a sales manager. I have a sample here of my walk-in and shopping guide. She's been selling ads in this for 10 years. And by the way, it's the same premise that I used with the Insider's News. I don't want to charge for it. I want the people who want to get their message out to pay for it. And that's what we do. So Amy was selling this. She's also in real estate now, like so many of us. But she's great at sales, and she's getting us afloat. We have to have advertising to be able to tell our stories, print, design, publish, distribute, pay a couple taxes. All right. There's Lorena Campillo. She lives in Querétaro. She's an excellent designer. She was also my interpreter when we were publishing bilingual. And there's Sugar Hudson, who didn't get out of bed and come this morning, if you can believe that. But he saved me because in January, it seemed like I had COVID and I was going down and I couldn't publish. Frank owned a newspaper in where, Jim, Texas? College Station, Texas. He calls me up, says, let's have a cup of coffee. I want to be your partner. I said, are you a millionaire? He said, no. I said, good, because I'm not giving you anything. You can buy me coffee. And it was Sugar who really got us back on track to being a printed publication through his knowledge of small town publishing and through his goodwill. And you know what? He couldn't donate blood. I'm just going to say he's getting kind of old like the rest of us. And he still has the energy, you know. And who comes with him? There's a picture there. Bill Wilson is my deputy editor. I mentioned Bill. He's back here. He tells me he's been a reporter since he was a Cub Scout. Was that what you were? Oh, well, I'm not going to put him on the spot. But he's also a weatherman, and it was Anato, who many of you knew, who gave him the nomiker, hey, yo, weather dude. So he's the weather dude, and he writes a column called Weather, or Weather, and it just gives him a chance to carry on about whatever interests him at the time. He's of a certain age where I have to allow that. You know, you don't try and stop creativity in its tracks. So there's Bill. Look at your friend Catherine Michael. She's the other fantastic salesperson, but I call her Miss Public Relations. She'll make a dinner party to sell you an ad. Or she'll just invite you to a dinner party because she's a fabulous social person. And that's what we are, too. We are part of the social fabric of San Miguel. So thank you, Catherine. And who do we have there? Natalie. Natalie, a great writer for the Atención, also a book publisher herself, if you don't know, also a famous tango dancer, and also a beautiful human being who when it was September and we were seeing if we could publish, would meet me at Fabrica de la Aurora to have what we called wine and wine hour. So that was another inspiration. I got going with the wine and wine hour with Natalie. We appreciate it so much. Whoop. We've already seen that mission. So here are other contributors. You see, there are a lot of people who like to write, and they all have a topic. And they know that they're going to be constricted to 400 words or 800 words. Why? Because I am out of the graphic art world originally, and I didn't want a messy newspaper. Okay, I want a newspaper where the ads can be seen and benefit the advertisers, and where the articles can clearly be read and the photos can be used. So we have kind of a cross what happened because we only publish monthly, and we'll talk about Ron getting out all the information and Dr. David getting out all the current information online. We said we need to publish once a month, and we need to focus on people and the stories of people. So that's why my writers are constrained to 400 words or 800 words, which they can deal with. Robin's an excellent writer, too. She's an excellent PR lady, and I just haven't wound her in yet. But as I came to talk to Rotary about Rotary and how we can help you more, you might find Robin talking to us about that. Who are the advertisers? Well, that was really hard because nobody wants to be a pioneer. Nobody wants to get shot in the back. Nobody wants to be in a little ugly gray and black newspaper. So it was tough, but they're coming because they now see that, yes, we will keep going. We won't just whine and whine. We won't just get together and say, is there a cover story? No, there isn't one. Let's just make something up. But we'll keep going. And so our advertisers are showing up and they're finding benefit in that. They're actually telling me that people are calling them because for the same reason, somebody likes to stop and pick up a newspaper and they go back and they look at it and they pass it along to a friend. We only publish 5,000. It's enough. We went to pure English, even with Natalie, my bilingual advisor's advice. And we also have a website, so they get out there too. Now I want to talk about the who, because you're part of the who, because I was talking about the who, the writers, the contributors, the advertisers, who, our stories are the who. And I get on your website, which is magnificent, and I go, I haven't, because the attention's gone, right? I haven't heard about rainwater harvesting, and let's talk about that rain recently. Thanks be to God. Oh my God. And the dry composting toilets, your micro-lending, your prosthetic hand project, didn't know about that, and girls empowerment. Go girls. So here we are, and we have new annual news, just general news about all you brave folks who stepped up for another year of leadership here, okay? So what I need is I just need someone from the Rotary to be able to send us your news and to send us some photos. And we don't have any problem running that. I started a column called, and nobody likes the word charity. I know it's all NGO. But I had the word charity works. Charity works. So I have been trying to include an NGO in every monthly issue so that people can understand the hearts of the people who live here. When I used to live in the United States in Tacoma and give to United Way, did I ever see the faces of the people I helped, the people my money went to? No, I never did. So I knew that when I came here, I could make a difference. And that's what all of you know, and that's what the newspaper still tries to do. It's that making a difference in we are a foreign community, not a foreign body, but we're a foreign community, and we do a lot of heartfelt works for the community that we've adopted to live in. I went ahead and became a Mexican citizen. I got so excited about being here. Because as you know, I go back a long way with my Uncle Don coming down on the GI Bill, seeing Gloria Salto, thinking she was Elizabeth Taylor, that was back then, marrying her and then creating a family life here where it was the Gringolandia and the Mexicano mix, which is part of the culture and history of San Miguel. So here we are. How did we become the Insider's Guide? You all know Richard Simone. And who before Richard? Who carried the book around? Who made it? Archie. So Archie Dean did a great book called The Insider's Guide, and it really had everything from caterers to porta potties to lawyers. Sorry, they're not connected. And where's my lawyer friend back there? Oh, okay. Anyway, Richard was getting old, and he was wanting to dedicate his life to wine parties, those wine parties that I'm talking about. So he gave me his book. And I said, it's 10 years old. All the information in here is 10 years old. What am I going to do with this, Richard? I'm not saying he's happy that his baby has become a monthly newspaper, but it does allow us to get out, keep the name Insiders going. It's not meant to be snobbery. It's meant to be that we are here. We are inside it. We are making it happen, all of us, by being here. So I want to tell you we are a free edition. As I said, I believe that the advertisers should benefit. They do benefit, and then the public benefits from having a newspaper to pick up. We're online. We've got what I do is, Lorena, you saw my great graphic artist. We made a little website. We're not trying to compete with any websites. I'm not a website lady. If Graham were here, he left, he would tell you that. He let me help his for a while, and I killed it. So my website is really what we do is we put out 2 stories every other day that are in the print edition for those who don't see the print edition and who actually want to concentrate more and read more. And there are no flashing signs or anything like that because I have no idea how to charge for online publicity. So there isn't any on there. Mine might be on there. Yeah, I'm going to walk up here. So because I am online and it tells me where I go, I have little dots here that went over to Paris, Budapest, Portugal, up to Vail, up to all the nice cities in the U.S. that, as I said, people are watching San Miguel and they're checking in. I don't know who those people are, but thank goodness they care. And that map just continues to grow. You have such a great helper here. What's his name who helped me put together this presentation? John Palmer. He wrote me back and said, this is too small. I don't like that. Change this. I said, do you know who you're talking to? Anyway, he did tell me, and he was absolutely right, that map wouldn't work. But I had it there to remind myself to tell you that the news of San Miguel gets out. And when you go out in the newspaper, as an organization, I always try to put the QR code that goes right to your website. I don't need to run a QR code on a website, but it gets your good news spread around the world too, which is, I know the Rotary clubs do that. I know you can do that. Why? Why do we do this? Why do we do it, Natalie? Yeah, I mean, I couldn't come up with any other reason we did it. We love San Miguel. We love writing. We love sharing. And there are actually some who do want to share news about their services, their products, and their events. In your case, sharing news about your services is a grand benefit, not to the people in this room, but to the end user in the water catchment system, in the girls' empowerment, where it really, really counts. And that's the love of San Miguel and the love of sharing. And yeah, we wanted to have a little hub where you could find news, where you could put in news and just kind of have some relevant information. Who's our reader? What do we tell our advertisers? You know who our reader is? I see her right there. Her name is Kim. She's a woman about 50 plus, and she speaks English, and she loves San Miguel. So we grab them with fashion, with interior design, with food reviews, because we do that here. And this also supports those like the young fashion writer. We're in production right now on we come out mid-month to mid-month, like the young fashion writer who will be featured. What a brilliant child. And she's using pieces of indigenous work, embroideries and so forth, in the design of her fairly expensive clothing. And so that helping passes along. If you buy that clothing, well, good for the ladies whose fingers are now, what? Has anyone ever done that kind of thing in this room? I never have. So what do? We come out on the 15th of the month. Why? Because when Sugar drugged me out of my bedroom in the dark of January and said, we got to get going again, girl, I couldn't come out on the 1st. We just came out on the 15th and we said, since we're a monthly publication, we're going to let it go at that. We're not going to try and get back to the 1st of the month. That's tricky anyway, to say that you're always going to come out the 1st of the month. It kind of moves around, if you haven't noticed, a lot like the moon. So we come out on the 15th. Where are you going to find us? First of all, if you want to come and meet us and hang out and talk about a story or just have a cup of coffee, we meet at 11 o'clock in the City Market restaurant. What do? Eat those really good pastries and get together and kind of like y'all here say, well, what are we going to do next? And then sometimes we achieve all of it and sometimes we achieve half of it, but we welcome anyone to come by on a Monday morning with a reason to help or do a story pitch. And our deadline for the submissions is the 10th of the month. For us, that happens to be tomorrow because we have to send it to the printer in Querétaro who used to print the Attention. And they print it within 8 hours of us sending it. And we send over the big yellow taxi truck, pick them up, bring them back. And the guy who distributes for me has distributed the walk-in and shopping guide for 13 years. But we made it simpler for him because I just want to tell you where he distributes. And look we have a really creative name online. Insiders News, .net. Wow. So anyone can go there and look at what we're up to because all of our stories are archived there. And so whenever we feature anyone, they're like, when am I going to be out? When am I going to be out? My grandma can't find this paper because she doesn't live here. I need to get it to Philly right now. So that's another reason we do that. All right. Well, how do we do it? This is for Bill because he said, we don't care how. No, he didn't say that. He just said it's not a reporter question. Well, we say teamwork makes dream work. Actually, Lorena made that up for me because I didn't have a headline. So there you go, teamwork. We have an ad. We have ads. We have editorial in by the 10th. Then we do setup and design. It's printed in Querétaro. How do you benefit from it? Well, get on our mailing list. Because we have about 5,000 people who have gone through the website and said, I want to be on your mailing list. I want to subscribe. I say, I'm sorry, you can't subscribe. I don't have a way to pay money for you to subscribe. Just get on the mailing list and let our numbers grow so that our advertisers know that people are paying attention. That's all you need to do. So they get on the mailing list. And where do I need help? Well, in the question and answer, you might tell me what's missing. I need somebody who runs around the city now and then. You'll see that Sugar, who doesn't like to be called Frank, it's really hard for me to call him Sugar in front of his wife. But that Sugar did find information on the highway project between here and Dolores, the Boulevard de Libertad that I drive through every day. And so we will have that, but we don't have a good city connection. And part of the premise was this: I'm not reporting kidnappings, car accidents, sorry, David, or the really bad news. Why? Because you can go online and find it. You can find it within hours. You can find it that day. I am really about people, places, things. It doesn't all have to be great news. There can be sad news, but I cannot chase the daily news cycle. So, but I don't have anyone who knows how to go to the city. If there's anyone in here who does, good. Good works. That's talking to you to say, keep me posted. Give me your news in 800 words or 400 words. And that says right there, oh, look at Lorena. She's so clever. She likes to put pictures. I say you can submit 400 to 800. She puts, oh, no, you got to do 200 words. Well, you know what that is? It's 2 paragraphs. So we'll do 4. Yeah. Okay. I'm pacing around. You see we have a faces of right there? We made that up because we say, first of all, I kind of like to feature what is our Mexican neighbor doing around here recently, because they're so famous we don't know. And who are all these really cool North Americans who are bringing down incredible histories? But it's really about who's impacting San Miguel right now. Natalie just wrote Faces. Who do we write about? Yeah, he's the opera guy. And who did you write about this time? Who did you write about this time? Who's coming out? She doesn't remember. Yeah. Anyway, she'll tell me in a minute. But anyway, so we do Faces, and of course Catherine, because she's in sales, wants to sell that space. No, that's still just donated space. Catherine's like, who? Sam Perez. He's a famous photographer. I don't know anything about it. I'll have to read the paper when it comes out. There's one other use for the paper. Sugar raises canaries, and he says it's a very good canary cage bottom. And I have a parrot, and I've actually seen my face on the bottom of my parrot's cage that my maid puts it down there in the morning. So newspapers have a lot of uses. All right, so there we are with that, and that's the end. Thank you. That's my QR code. And go look me up online. Are there any questions? I may have gone over time, but I have time. Thank you. Thank you. Do you want the microphone?
Sure. How is not charging for the paper working out financially?
Well, I don't get paid, and I don't want to, but it works fine. Guess what? We were 68 pesos in the red last month. So, I mean, we're doing okay. And I did try to put a charge on it. I tried to sneak one in one of those months. Well, nobody wanted to buy it. So I just say, let's keep it free and light, breezy, and fun. Thank you for that economist kind of question. Hey, there's a man back there named Jim who's been writing me nice notes telling me that the newspaper's been improving. Thank you for that, Jim. Appreciate it. He's been here 38 years. More questions? Yes.
Sometimes there's some NGOs that they have good events, good results for their projects, how they can send you info if that's possible.
Yeah, and like right now, we've got all this summer music stuff coming up. You probably read I used to direct the Chamber Music Festival. Give me Bach back. Give me back Bach, whatever. I miss it. But the answer to that is on my website, there's a window that you can type 50 words into. And if you send it to us, we are creating a way to codify and get that news back out because we're kind of new. I'd say, what is this, like we started in September, died for a couple months, and here we are again. So it does take us a bit to figure out how to do that in a 50-word format. We'll also do a story on it. We prefer to do a story right away after a follow-up. And if it's really an expensive gala, I prefer an invitation since I don't get paid. Hey, that's an idea. Oh, it was Catherine who asked me about that. She wants that. Okay. Any other questions? Hi, David.
Camie, I just wanted to thank you for a great presentation. Lots of fun. Your venture is a difficult one, as anybody that's ever published a newspaper knows. And I want to thank you on behalf of our Rotary Club. Many people, you mentioned it briefly. Camie was our first secretary way back when, at the beginning, and you and your then husband, Larry, were very, very key to helping us get started. So thank you, Camie.
David, thank you. I forgot what I was then. This was, and I forget what I am now sometimes, but there's no question about it. Let's not go there. So the thing I was going to say is, yeah, I'm very passionate about Rotary. We did a lot of good things in Tacoma, Washington, and what I saw at the time was the ability to create these international projects that you are all funneling and making great out of. So thank you for saying that, and thank you for your service in terms of keeping us informed at the city hall level. I guess I have to work with David more. Okay, a free ad for you. Free quarter page, darling. Yes.
This probably only benefits me. If I am in Phoenix, can I get on the Insider through the QR code? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said. They're over there. You come from Prague originally. I see there's a little pin in Prague. There was a pin in Paris, Portugal. Portugal. What else goes with a P? But anyway, Piskiski or someplace like that. So yes, it just goes out. We just send it. It goes out on all of you know about that horrible MailChimp program that you actually have to use to get around Google or Gmail not letting you put out too much. So we just send you an alert with the 2 stories, and you click into the website. Voila. You want me to finish the song? Okay. Shall we go? Shall we go and do what your inspiration said? Your inspiration from Anne Frank said, realize you can change the world from right now, from this very minute. So I say amen and thank you.